ज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौर भक्त वृंदा। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवतीरुत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी। So today we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, 3rd Canto, Chapter 1, text number 34. Apisvidaste Bhagavan Sukhamvo. Apisvidaste Bhagavan Sukhamvo. Yasatvatam Kamadudho Niruddha. Yamamanantismahi Shabdayonim. Manomayam Sattvaturiyatatvam. Please go ahead. Move the screen. Api, as also, Swit, whether, Aste, does he, Bhagavan, the personality of Godhead, Sukham, all happiness, Vaha, of you, Yaha, one who, Satvatam, of the devotees, Kama, Dugaha, source of all desires, Aniruddha, the plenary expansion Aniruddha, Yam, whom, Amananti, they accept, Sma, from your, he, certainly, Shabdayonim, the cause of Rig Veda, Manaha Mayam, creator of the mind, Sattva, transcendental, Turiya, the fourth expansion, Tattva, Tattvam, principle. Translation: may I inquire whether Aniruddha is doing well? He is the fulfiller of all the desires of the pure devotees and has been considered from yore to be the cause of Rig Veda, the creator of the mind and the fourth plenary expansion of Vishnu. So three things: the cause of Rig Veda, the creator of the mind, and the fourth plenary portion of Vishnu. Purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Adi Chaturbhuja, the original expansions of Baladev, are Vasudev, Sankarshan, Pradyumna, and Aniruddha. All of them are Vishnu Tattvas and non-different personalities of Godhead. In the incarnation of Sri Ram, all these different expansions appeared for particular pastimes. Lord Ram is the original Vasudev, and his brothers were Sankarshan, Pradyumna, and Aniruddha. Aniruddha is also the cause of Mahavishnu, from whose breathing the Rig Veda appeared. All this is nicely explained in Markandeya Purana. In the incarnation of Lord Krishna, Aniruddha appeared as son of the Lord. Lord Krishna in Dwarka is the Vasudev expansion of the original group. The original Lord Krishna never leaves Golok Vrindavan. All the plenary expansions are one and the same Vishnu Tattva, and there is no difference in their potency. Hari Bol. Jai Shri Radhe. Jai Shri Prabhupada. So, the background of this particular verse in third canto and first chapter is that Vidura is insulted by his brother Dhritarashtra and his nephew Duryodhan very badly. So he has left the kingdom and he's on a pilgrimage. He's not sad. He's a saintly, pure devotee, pure Vaishnava. He takes this to be the arrangement of the Lord and he leaves to go to meet many saintly people, many rishis and munis. On the way to pilgrimage, he visits 11 holy places mentioned in the previous verses. He performs all the rituals, all the prayers to those holy places, to the rivers over there. And finally, he comes across uh, he comes across Vidura. And Vidura, he comes across Uddhava. I'm sorry, Uddhava. And Uddhav is the cousin brother of Lord Krishna. Uddhav is also a Yadava. Uddhav is a great Vaishnava, very dear devotee of Krishna. He is the minister of Krishna. He is the friend of Krishna. He is a family member of Krishna. He is a disciple of Brahaspati. Most learned. Only co-god brother of his was Bhishmadev. Such exalted god brother and such exalted Gurudev, Brahaspati. So from all points of view, Uddhava was the greatest personality from material point of view and from the spiritual point of view. So Vidura here is also happens to be a relative, distant relative of Uddhav. So he meets Uddhav. He does not meet him as a important, influential, ministerial personality in Dwarka and Mathura. He is meeting him as a devotee, Vaishnava. He is approaching him for association, not for some military or political association or guidance or discussion. Why I say this with so much confidence? I have not met him. I didn't know him. I don't know him, or I have not spoken to him. What did he had in mind? But how do you know anybody's mind? When one opens his mouth, you come to know what is there in the mind. It is said that a fool is a great personality till he keeps quiet, till his mouth is shut. Moment his mouth opens, his reality is exposed to the whole world. So here when we read Vidura's questions, they tell very clearly that Vidura is a great devotee, number one. Number two, he is not approaching Uddhav with some official motivation or some official purpose. He is meeting Uddhav as a great devotee, as a family member, and as a very near acquaintance. So what do we do when we meet our dear one? We always inquire about welfare of the dear one and the dear ones to the dear one, those who are close to him. And I can see when I was reading the inquiries about different people that Vidura is making, he is not only inquiring about well-being of that person, but is also glorifying each person whom he is inquiring about. So definitely, for sure, the people who were there in the previous yugas, they were definitely more cultured as far as etiquettes were concerned. Definitely more cultured. You know how much time it is taking. You just realize reading what he is inquiring, but it finds so long and distant. Oh, what about Aniruddha, who is the fourth plenary expansion of Vishnu, who is the origin of Rig Veda, who is the fourth expansion of Vishnu, who is the cause of Mahavishnu. There's so much glorification. This glorification is not official or professional. It is very clear and obvious that this glorification is devotional, from the heart of the person who is speaking. So a lot to learn from each line of Srimad Bhagavatam. Srimad Bhagavatam is each word of Srimad Bhagavatam. I'm not saying each verse. There are 18,000 verses. Each verse has maybe sometimes 8 words, 10 words, 20 words. Each word is like an ocean of unlimited spiritual wisdom. Even the names that are uttered, Aniruddha, Krishna, Vasudev, Devaki, Samba, and Pradyumna, and Krishna, and Vasudev, and Devaki. Each name is enough powerful to purify us. The way the name is addressed, even the way we understand by reading the verses, is powerful enough to purify us. The full line sentence meaning of each verse, one verse is enough to deliver us back to Godhead. That is why, like in our medical studies, all of us were very expert in knowing what we can put in exemption. That means what we can not read and get away with. We were all very expert. What to put in option? We used to say you can put this in option. You don't have to study. These are the main things you cannot miss studying. But there is nothing like that. No options. Nothing to put in option in Srimad Bhagavatam. Even though sometimes there is descriptions of hells, unlimited hells are there. What all things are happening there? Who all are getting punished? The way they are getting punished in details, it is explained. In third canto, details, it is explained how the creation is taking place. Sometimes there is so much details. We think I don't need to know this to go back to Godhead. I just need to know the Krishna Katha in 10th canto. Why I'm supposed to do a long journey to 10th canto? Is there not any shortcut to 10th canto so I can straight understand the love of Godhead? The answer is no. Why answer is no? Because the speaker of Bhagavatam is Shukadev, the most learned and most eloquent knower and the speaker of and the follower in life of Bhagavatam. The listener, the audience is Raja Parikshit, King Parikshit. In the peculiar situation about King Parikshit, he has only 7 days. And in 7 days, in the most eloquent manner, Shukadevji has to deliver all the essence of knowledge in nutshell in 168 hours. He can go on for 1680 hours, but he has no time. He's only given time of 168 hours. And in 168 hours, when you and me cannot sit down, say 20 days, total 168 hours. It's not possible. 1 month, total 168 working hours, and 1 month. We will not be able to cover the Vedic knowledge or the essential knowledge required to deliver the soul. But there is no night and day. It's only 24/7. Actually 24/7, 168 hours. So if it was not required, Shukdev Goswami would not have spoken a single word that is not required. That is why Srimad Bhagavatam is glorified as Amalam Puranam, the most essential knowledge. There is no beating around the bush anywhere just to elaborate certain things which are not necessary to be elaborated. Everything that is necessary to be spoken and to be elaborated, only that subject is elaborated. That is why third canto is not boring canto. Third canto is an essential canto. If you understand that nicely, and even if we die at the end of our reaching the last verse of third canto, and we just die before the fourth canto began in our life, it will still take us back to Godhead. We have to understand that. We have to really have faith. If I start the process at 60 years of my age, Krishna consciousness, and I am introduced to Srimad Bhagavatam, and Srimad Bhagavatam, I'm reading very sincerely, trying to understand, and suddenly I die at the end of third canto. And I only heard about the creation and some hells and some heavens, mostly hells. Will it take me back to Godhead? Yes, if I have attentively surrendered mood, heard Srimad Bhagavatam with full faith from the proper authority, pure devotee, realized soul, in a systematic manner, following four regulatory principles, chanting Hare Krishna, serving Vaishnavas, and I die at the beginning of fourth canto, I straight go back to Godhead. That is the power of Srimad Bhagavatam. So here it may appear to us, Hare, he's taking so long to inquire about the families. I want to hear something from him. Why is he wasting his time by asking so many details about everybody who is family member? Just ask the question, no, straight. Who is the super soul? How to reach him? I want to know, Vidur, Uddhava, please. You are the close friend of Krishna. Tell me how to achieve Krishna. Immediately, straight. Come to the business. Don't beat around the bush. No, the Vedic culture was not like that. Even when that Brahmana who went to Dwarka from Vidarbha, from the house of Rukmini, with such an urgent message, if you don't come in right time, I will commit suicide, you will find me dead. Or come immediately and pick me up at the opportune moment and save me from suicide. Such an urgent message. But you see, what do you see? Brahmana reaches there, then they wash his feet, then they ask, how are you feeling? Is journey all right? They feed him nice prasadam. After a long time, I think he also slept overnight or whatever. A long time, then Krishna comes and meets. Okay, what's the message? Then he reads the message and he leaves immediately. So we feel, Arey, such a important message. Why he has to take lunch and water and wash his feet and everything? Just ask him, come, call Krishna immediately. I'll take fruits afterwards. Till the time we can get ready with the chariot. In the meantime, when the chariot is getting ready, I will take my fruits and breakfast and take bath and chant my Gayatri and then leave. I don't want to waste a single moment. But still, we find that there is no hurry or there is no breach of etiquette. So when we meet even sadhu, don't forget to ask him, how are you doing, Maharaj? Everything is fine. Your health is all right. When did you come from USA? When did you come from India? Last time I heard you had asthma. Is it all right now? How's your back? It was hurting last time. This is called as Kshema Kushala, inquiry about Kshema Kushal. Kshem means well-being. Kushal also means well-being. Different terms. In Sanskrit, inquiring about Kshema and Kushala is well-being. And that inquiring about Kshema Kushal is a sign of a evolved, advanced Vaishnava. Otherwise, today's world, nobody inquires, how are you? Just mechanical. Just get to the business fast because there's no time. That is not the sign of advancement. That is sign of degradation. That is sign of lack of concern, lack of humanity, lack of human nature. So both of the parties have to share a lot of knowledge and realizations and experiences to each other, but still they're taking time to, what do you call it, to warm up. to settle down, to come to the terms of spirituality by the way of uh, so-called material familial etiquettes. And these are very important. Also, expressing these etiquettes is the sign of love. Very important. It's very important to understand that we'll express our love through the etiquettes. When we embrace, we express our love. We inquire of you and family members. That is love. And without love, I don't think great knowledge cannot be transferred without love. Information, education, teaching can take place without love. But imparting knowledge which can transform the heart cannot take place without love, cannot take place without concern. So the great um, discussions that have taken place, which are available in our scriptures as Upanishads or Puranas, especially Srimad Bhagavatam, are all love-based discussions. Bhagavad Gita is also a love-based discussion. It is a discussion between two beloveds, Krishna and Arjuna. One beloved is the boss, another beloved is distressed, in need of help. So the supreme friend is expressing his love. He's not talking to him as supreme personality of Godhead. He's giving knowledge about himself, but he's not giving that knowledge in the mood of being the Lord. He's giving that knowledge to him in the mood of love. And I love you, my dear Arjun. You're my dear friend. I love you very much. I will open all secrets for you. Bhakti semi sakha cheti. Rahasyad etad uttamam. I will open all the secrets to you because I love you. You're my friend. You're my most beloved. So, what is our fortune? Our fortune is that we are exposed, introduced to these beautiful discussions, which are the topmost knowledges in the whole creation, not in this world of earth. In all the Ananta Koti Brahmandas, this is the most topmost of all knowledge one can expect oneself to be privileged to understand. All that knowledge is now available to all of us by the mercy of Srila Prabhupada. Sometimes we may feel the knowledge is irrelevant, but we have to understand that all this knowledge is extremely, extremely important. So I will just request Sriman Baraha Acharya video to be off. It's quite disturbing to me. A lot of movements are going on there. So in this verse, at this particular 34th verse, about Aniruddha inquiry is done. Now all these personalities have two aspects. Any personality you take into action, say, take Lord Shiva, two aspects. One is the eternal constitutional position, the power, the potencies, the services that I have, and one is the relationship of that personality with Krishna and the loving pastimes that they have. So one you can call as a official position, official duty, and official job description, say of Lord Shiva. And then you consider Lord Shiva's heart. What is his private life? What is the thing in private life? What is his seclusion? What is his space? In his own space, who is he? He's a Param Vaishnava. He's a devotee of the Lord. He comes in disguise to see Krishna in Nandagaon. He becomes a beggar, and in disguise he is begging for a darshan of baby Krishna. At the same time, he is a Mahadev, the destroyer of all at the time of dissolution. He is worshipped by even his father, what to speak of demigods. Same way, Aniruddha. Who is Aniruddha? Aniruddha technically is fourth aspect of the quadruple expansion of Lord Balaram. Who is Lord Balaram? Lord Balaram is first Leela avatar of the Supreme Personality of Godhead Sri Krishna. Supreme Personality of Godhead means 6 opulences, 16 arts, and 64 qualities in unlimited quantity makes Supreme Personality of Godhead. That is a technical description. Above all, he is the most lovable personality, father of all the living entities, most concerned, most lovable aspect of personality. He, only for the purpose of Leela, only for the purpose of performing pastimes, he expands into Balaram. Now, this Balaram is supposed to be only performing pastimes and assisting in pastimes. But then he has not only that personality or duty, he has got many other duties. He himself expands into 4 personalities called quadruple expansion of Baladev, and is quite technical. In the first expansion is Sankarshana. Balaramji becomes in charge of all the Vaikunthas. He governs all the Vaikunthas. Every single Vishnu which governs every single Vaikuntha is under the governance of Sankarshana. Then there is Vasudeva. So Vasudeva is Aishwarya Krishna. Krishna with all opulences, Bhagavan. Krishna is Madhurya, but Madhurya also gives rise to Aishwarya. And Aishwarya means control, sovereignty, management, the boss. And then third one is Pradyumna. Pradyumna is actually the most beautiful personality. So, and the fourth one is Aniruddha. And Aniruddha is supposed to be the origin of Mahavishnu. Who is Mahavishnu? Mahavishnu is way down this quadruple expansion. Mahavishnu is way down. Let me explain. So this Sankarshana, Vasudeva, Aniruddha, Pradyumna, Aniruddha. This is a quadruple expansion. Then Sankarshan 1 goes into Sankarshan 2. And then that Sankarshan 2 expands into Lord Narayan. Lord Narayan expands into a personality which is the controller of the whole material creation. And that is called Mahavishnu. So third or fourth degree expansion of quadruple expansion of Balaramji is Mahavishnu. So directly he is connected to Aniruddha. And this Mahavishnu is one personality, and it gives rise to unlimited Garbhodaka Shahi Vishnus, each one controlling one Brahmanda. And unlimited Brahmandas are coming out from the pores of the body of Mahavishnu. He is lying in the causal ocean, in the ocean of his own water pouring out of his pores of the body. Karana Sagara, causal ocean. In that causal ocean, all the expansions of Brahmandas are floating. In each one, Garbhodaka Shahi Vishnu is controlling. Then he expands into Paramatma in each and everybody's heart. 14 planets, so many demigods headed by Brahma. Very complicated, effective, efficient mechanism of creation. So that Mahavishnu is a soul, Mahavishnu, Purusha avatar, controller of the entire material creation, is expansion of Aniruddha. And from the breath of that Mahavishnu, Rig Veda, the original sound vibration of transcendental knowledge is produced. So that is why it is said that Aniruddha is the originator of Rig Veda. The original knowledge was only one Veda. Veda means knowledge. And it was only Rig Veda. And then Vyasadeva came later on and he divided that one Veda, Rig Veda, into four to make it simplified. Also made four teachers to teach four of them. And then wrote many other things which are commentaries of all those four Vedas. Just, breaking it down to make it simplified and to understand better. So that Aniruddha is the originator of Mahavishnu, is the originator of the Rig Veda, the knowledge. And most important thing, third thing, is the mind. The entity of mind is directly created and controlled by Lord Aniruddha. Interesting, very interesting. He is called as Manas Samartya Data. The power in the mind is controlled and given by Lord Aniruddha. He is the Lord of the mind. In the material sense, when we are in the material world, interesting to know that our mind is controlled by moon god. So we say lunar month. And somebody goes psychotic, then we say he's lunatic, connected to the moon. And when the moon becomes, full, or moon becomes zero into darkness, that is called as Amavasya. Amavasya is dark moon night. And Purnima is full moon night. On both the days, those who are psychiatric people, they get wild. Or those who are mental people, they become wild, uncontrolled. Their illness becomes multiplied. Or those who are asthmatics, they become more asthmatic on their full moon and dark moon nights. When there's high tide on the full moon and dark moon night, the diseases which are dependent on breath and mind, they get exaggerated. I am speaking out of my experience because I saw my mother gasping for air on full moon and dark moon nights. And she would get better on the other days naturally. All that was connected to high tide, full moon, and dark moon. So these are all scientific things. But what point I was trying to tell you that materially on one level, our mind is controlled by moon. But superiorly, the Vishnu Tattva, which controls the mind, is Lord Aniruddha. You have to understand that. Materially, the world may be destroyed at the time of dissolution by Lord Shiva. But the original destroyer is Lord Krishna. I create, I maintain, I destroy. But I get it done through somebody. But original creator, maintainer, destroyer is myself only. I give you so many fulfillments. Myself, I am the giver. But I give it to you through the agency of my demigods. I empower them to give you what I want to give you. I do everything, but I get it done, all those things which I do through my assistants. So subtly and originally, Aniruddha is controller of the mind, and grossly and externally, moon god is the controller of the mind. Now, can you show the purport again, please? Purport. Yeah. So here, Srila Prabhupada explains that Mahavishnu's breathing created Rigveda. Then he says that this same Aniruddha, who is the one of the quadruple expansions, these people came, four people came in Ramayana also. Vasudev came as Lord Ramchandra, Sankarshan came as Lakshmana, Pradyumna came as Bharat, and Shatrughna came, Aniruddha came as Shatrughna. So these quadruple expansions are coming several times. One of the major example is during Treta Yuga, during Ramayana time, when Lord Ramchandra came. And the original Lord was always enjoying in Golok Vrindavan. It's very important, interesting to understand that he's there also, he's here also. He doesn't leave also and he leaves also. Both things are happening simultaneously. So it's very interesting. And how, okay, now you can close it. So how Aniruddha has come externally. The same personality, as I said, there are two aspects of each personality. One is the technical duty or seva that they have. So what is Aniruddha seva? Aniruddha is the creator of Rigveda, creator of Mahavishnu, who maintains and creates the whole material creation under the Mahat Tattva, and how he personally comes to serve the Lord. He comes as Krishna's grandson. He takes birth as the son and daughter-in-law. Sorry, Krishna and Rukmini give birth to Pradyumna. Pradyumna marries and gives birth to Aniruddha. Am I right? Yes, am I right? I'm right. So this Aniruddha is Krishna's grandson. And what is his important role is, even now also he is controlling the minds of everybody. He is a Vishnu Tattva. So he is somewhat technically same as Sankarshan, Aniruddha, Pradyumna. They all are same. But still, there is gradation and there is difference. There is oneness and difference. Vasudev is Vishnu himself. Others also Vishnu themselves, but there is a superiority in each of them. That's why Ram is superior to Lakshman and vice versa, otherwise also. So anyways, Aniruddha married Usha and he gave birth to a great personality called as Vajranam. Very interesting to know, as Vidura is inquiring about all the Yadu dynasty from Uddhav, because Uddhav also was from Yadu dynasty. He was also Yadu. They were all from Yadu dynasty. And except Uddhav and Vajranam, everybody was annihilated in the disaster that Krishna created to take away his whole dynasty back home, back to Godhead. All of you know that when Krishna had his own dynasty where Satyaki and Samba and everybody, great personalities, invincible, not destroyable by anybody. One Akshohini, many crores of people were there. And all of them were Krishna's family members. And they were taken by Duryodhana to fight from Kaurava's side. And Krishna alone came to the side of Pandavas. And one of the Yadus, whose name is Balaram, decided to go away from the warfare to the pilgrimage. So warfare was over. None of these people were killed. They came back to Dwarka undefeated and they thought they were very great warriors. They did a lot of chivalry. They were discussing about themselves and they went to the place and they plucked the grass there. The grass which they picked, it acted as sword. Just before some time, it was like a grass, soft grass. But the moment they picked it up to hit one another, that grass became like sword. It chopped off everybody's head and everybody was finished. Everybody died. Only Krishna Balaram, Uddhav and Vajranab, they were saved. How Vajranab was saved? Because Vajranab that time was in the womb of his mother. That is why he was saved. Even Aniruddha, he had to depart from that point and go back to the kingdom of Godhead. Yet in technical sense, he also was destroyed by the fraternal warfare that took place at Prabhasa Kshetra. And Uddhava was very close friend of Krishna and he was left behind by Krishna purposefully to do a great duty of delivering Krishna's own wives, 16,108. So he was left behind by Krishna. He wanted to go with Krishna, but Krishna said, you just wait, I have got some service for you. So Uddhav wanted to go with Krishna. He could not stay without Krishna. But he knew that if I want to be near Krishna, then the best way is not to be physically near Krishna, but the best way is to fulfill his desire to serve him by that way, subtly and constitutionally and consciousness point of view, he will be closest to Krishna. So he chose to be physically away, but spiritually close to Krishna by following his instruction of delivering his 16,108 wives at the banks of Kusum Sarovar in Govardhan in Vrindavan. So he was behind. And because Aniruddha's wife was pregnant, she delivered a baby after this massacre. So Vajranabh was infant when all this thing happened. Parikshit was little older. He was not little older. He was a man actually, quite young man, because he also faced Kali and he broke, punished him, whatever. So Aniruddha's baby Vajranabh was a small baby, and Parikshit was a big man. Eventually, even Vajranabh grew up to a nice devotee, and as per Krishna's order, they were supposed to bring Krishna's wives from Prabhasa Kshetra to Hastinapur, from Hastinapur to Mathura to Vrindavan. That was Krishna's order to Parikshit Maharaj, even first to Arjun, then to Parikshit, and then to Uddhav also, and Vajranabh also. All these people were told, what's the plan? I will leave. Before that, my brother will leave. Before that, I'll destroy all my Yadu dynasty. And Uddhava, you go to Vrindavan. At Govardhan, you wait there. Arjun, you take my wives to Hastinapur. Parikshit, when they will come to Hastinapur, you and Vajranabh go and bring them to Mathura. And Parikshit, you make Vajranabh the king of Braja, where I lived for 11 years. And Vajranabh, you develop my place of pastimes. You develop my place of pastimes in three ways. You develop the forests, you develop the water reservoirs, and you establish deities and establish temples and my worship there. So, Sara means water reservoirs, Vana means forest, and Vigraha means deities. So, in these three ways, you develop my place of pastimes and let it become a memorial, let it become a museum, or let it become a live museum of my past existence over there when I perform my Madhurya Leela over there. So with all this properly synchronized, scripted orchestra, Parikshit comes to Vrindavan with 16,108 wives of Krishna along with Vajranam. And then they see when they enter Mathura that the whole Vrindavan Dham is empty. Except trees, there is nobody there. Not even an ant or any jantu or any living entity. So they're wondering where all these people have gone. So explanation is that when Krishna left this world and they came to know Krishna now will not come back again to Mathura. All this while they were waiting because Krishna will come, and Krishna came in between. He killed Dantavakra and he came and visited the Brajvasis, and he said, I'll come back. He went and did some business, and from there only departed. So when that news came to Vrindavan, each and every living entity surviving that time left Vrindavan and went away. Except one person, that was Shandilya Muni. And the Shandilya Muni was the family priest of Nanda Maharaj and a guru of whole Braj Mandal, residential guru of Braj Mandal. Garga Muni was the family guru of Yadus, King Vasudev and his family. And Braj Mandal guru was Shandilya Muni. So Vajranabh and Parikshit Maharaj both went and entered the hermitage of the loner resident of Brajbhumi, Shandilya Muni. And then Shandilya Muni spoke wonderful knowledge to Vajranabh. That is called as Braj Bhagvat. All the knowledge about the loving pastimes of Krishna in Vrindavan, in Barsana, Nandagaon, all that was explained by Shandilya Muni to Vajranabh. And Vajranam was then instructed how to execute the order of Krishna. He guided him, he showed him the places, what to renovate first, what to establish first, what next, what to carve, how to carve, what to name, what not to name. Everything he gave him the written script, how to do it. And under the guidance of Shandilya Muni, Vajranab, King Vajranab, the great personality, after listening very attentively from Shandilya Muni, renovated and re-established the whole Brajadham. So even though he was direct great grandson of Krishna, even though he had met Krishna, even though he had heard some instructions from Krishna, also he listened about Krishna from a realized soul. Very, very important. I remember a parallel story here. The parrot of Radharani wanted to go with Radharani back to Godhead. Radharani said, no, you stay back and glorify me, glorify our pastimes. Now, if I was the parrot, I would say, oh, wow, wonderful. I have seen everything sitting in your finger. I am sitting on Radharani's finger every day and watching all the pastimes from such a close distance. Krishna teasing, Radharani crying, and giving butter to him. Every single closest observation I have done sitting on the finger of Radharani, I can directly start talking about it. So what was the statement made by the parrot? He said, if I am supposed to narrate your pastimes, I need to hear it from a realized soul. So he went to Kailash and heard Bhagavatam from Shukdev, from Shivji, Lord Shiva. And from there he went to Badrik Ashram and heard second time the Srimad Bhagavatam from the mouth of Vyasadev. And third time he learnt it scrutinizingly, technically, from Vyasadev again. And then he narrated it once in lifetime performance to Parikshit Maharaj. He could have said, I don't need to hear, I've seen it, everything. Similarly, although being a great inheritance of Krishna, great grandson, still he heard it very, very carefully, humbly, submissively from the lotus mouth of Shandilya Muni. So that is the role of Aniruddha. Aniruddha left behind one person who did a great job. If he was not there, the whole Braj Bhumi would have been a desert. Because everybody already had deserted it in one sense. Poetically, they deserted the land by going away from the land. And there would be nothing. But the first, I would say, Jirnodhar. Well, the word Jirnodhar is not proper. Jirna means dilapidated. The Lord's abode doesn't become dilapidated. Lord's abode appears and disappears from the vision of the mortals. So it had been disappeared from the vision of mortals, and he established it again in the vision of the mortals. First time, the first bringing it back to the vision of the mortals was done by Vajranab. And his samadhi is there in the village of Champaklata, near Barsana. That village of Champaklata, he lived there and his samadhi is there. This is called Karahala, Karahala. Karela, that village is there, about 4 kilometers from Barsana, where the Sakhi Champaklata lived, where he also lived, and his samadhi is there. Of course, in the name of Champaklata, they all had left by the time. He just established all the holy places. So this is Aniruddha. Everybody has such a beautiful role to play, such a nice role to play, loving role to play. We also have a role to play. We have our duties and we have our heart. Our duties make us become a husband, brother, father, a leader, a manager, the director, or the whatever. We have our external duties. And then we have our heart, which is a devotee of the Lord. And we have so many Vaishnava qualities. We have so many Vaishnava sevas. And we have Guru's order. And that is our heart. Whether I'm an engineer or a doctor or a pilot or a IT manager, I have a heart of a devotee. I want to become a devotee. I want to serve the devotees. I want to worship the Lord. I want to eat Mahaprasad. I want to dance in Kirtan. That is my constitutional position. Like Aniruddha is a control of the mind, but at the same time, he is the family member of Krishna. Pradyumna is also Kamadev. He is the Cupid personified, but he has come as son of Krishna. So very beautiful. This whole existence, if we understand the real meaning behind it, it's all very meaningful, purposeful, and not only purposeful, very fulfilling also. It fulfills our existence by fulfilling the very purpose for which we are here. So, whatever we are externally, keep doing. We should keep doing that, but not get lost in that, because we have to get lost in our heart. What the propensity of the heart is, that is where we have to offer ourself, our existence, surrender, or drown, become one with the tendency of the heart. And the tendency of the heart is to become devotee of the Lord, to devote, to surrender. So whether the duties are different or duties can keep changing. Maybe I'm a doctor, you are an engineer, you are a pilot. That is one fixed thing, but that may be also changing. It may be in India, it may be in America, it may be somewhere else. But in all this changing and in all these different duties externally, we have one duty at the heart. That is to surrender to the Lord, to serve the Lord and love the Lord. That makes everything beautiful. When the heart is on the right platform of serving, loving, surrendering to the most beloved Lord, Sri Krishna, then all the other different and changing duties become meaningful and purposeful. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Thank you so much. Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. It's been very beautiful. Dear devotees, if anyone may have questions, comments, realizations that you would want to ask or share, please, you may do that. Hare Krishna.
I would like to also have darshans of the devotees whom I spoke to.
Yeah, so if you may put on your cameras.
One of the most internal reasons of coming on Zoom is to have darshans of various devotees
Yeah.
who are not usually visible to our mortal eyes.
Yeah.
Like the Bhagavatam class is an external purpose, and the internal purpose is to take darshan of variety of devotees. Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, it's very interesting you were narrating the pastimes of Aniruddha and his marriage to Usha. Now, my question is, Usha is a daughter to a demon.
Usha is what?
Is a daughter to a demon,
Yeah.
Banasura.
Yeah.
Now, Banasura had a dream of Aniruddha.
Yes. She also had a dream. She also had the dream.
Yeah.
She also saw him in the dream.
Yes.
She was a mystic. She was a mystic.
Yeah. And Chitraleka, by the power of mantra, was able to bring Aniruddha.
Yes.
Physically to Usha. So
yes.
my question is, how does a demon use mantras over a devotee and get his or her desires fulfilled?
So first of all, we have to know first thing that The demon doesn't have to always beget demon children,
Okay.
right? Ravana was a demon, but he was a Brahmin family. His father was a rishi, right?
Yeah.
But Vibhishan was a saintly Vaishnava, born in the demonic family.
Mm.
Prahlad was born to Hiranyakashipu, but he was the greatest of all devotees. When
Yeah.
Chaitanya Mahaprabhu heard his pastimes 300 times, 400 times from Gadadhar Pandit. So, just being born to a demon father doesn't make anybody a demon. Technically, yes, but not heart point of view.
Yeah.
So, Usha Devi was fortunate enough not to be, attracted to a demon for her being a husband or getting a husband. And she did not misuse her mysticism or her mystic friends. She used that to connect with Aniruddha. And her even meeting with Aniruddha and connecting with Aniruddha had a divine purpose. It was divinely scripted by Krishna, her meeting with Aniruddha.
Mm.
Like Abhimanyu's marriage with Uttara was a divinely scripted marriage, right?
Mm.
It had to create Parikshit Maharaj.
Mhm.
The marriage had to create Parikshit Maharaj so that the world would be able to hear Srimad Bhagavatam from the mouth of Shukdev in the name of Parikshit. So
Mm.
when they were married, it was like a very unique marriage actually. Krishna got the marriage done of Abhimanyu with Uttara. Krishna came to Subhadra. Even Krishna's arrangement of Subhadra's wedding to Arjuna was a scripted one. It was a four-sided marriage. That from that marriage, Abhimanyu should be born. Abhimanyu should die young with making his wife pregnant, and that should give rise to Parikshit Maharaj, by whom Srimad Bhagavatam would be broadcasted in the world. So similarly, this whole beautiful pastime of Aniruddha
And
being kidnapped by Usha's assistant Chitralekha by mystic power in slumber, and then remaining in the house of Usha for a long time incognito, and people observing Usha changing her body language and body shapes, and they would understand that now, although she has not come out of her palace, it looks like she is in contact with a man, and that has caused changes in her body. That was reported by intelligent people who observed her to the father, and they came to know she's pregnant from Aniruddha. So all this is this can be understood in the most lowly way as debauchery and illicit sex, all kinds of things. But everything in scriptures is not like that.
yeah.
We have to learn that from the authorities of the Vedas and the pure devotees, and then they will throw the divine light on that, and we understand, wow, how wonderful, how in the most absurd situations, the most wonderful things are taking place. How in the most absurd family in the world of Hiranyakashipu, the great lotus flower has come up in the form of Prahlad
Yeah.
to give light of transcendence for the whole creation for eternity to come. It's inconceivable how a boy like Prahlad can be born in the womb of Kayadhu and Hiranyakashipu. But that's what the Lord wants. So it is happening like that. Nothing can stop the Lord. Nothing can stop the devotee of the Lord also. Nobody could stop Prahlad also. So many big demons were there. Satya Yuga, so much powerful. Much more powerful than Treta Yuga when Ravana was there. And much more powerful than when people were in Dwapar Yuga when Krishna was there. Still, he came up as a devotee, maintained devotion, he preached, demon brothers and sisters, made them into Vaishnavas, delivered his father, established Vaishnava kingdom from demon dynasty. Is it not wonderful? He gave birth to son Virochana and great grandson Bali Maharaj, and again another history was created by Bali Maharaj, being a demon, still glorified as great Vaishnava. So all
Mm.
these inconceivable things are possible by the divine arrangement of the Lord. The most inconceivable and difficult arrangements, unbelievable arrangements are made possible by the mercy of the Lord. in the will of the Lord. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Well, thank you so much, Prabhuji, for the answer. But if you may be kind enough to also shed a little bit more light on this idea which Vidura is teaching us all, which you touched on it, but I hope you give a little bit more.
What is exactly you want to hear?
And that is how Vidura, even though he knows that Aniruddha is one of the Chaturvyuha expansions of Krishna, so there is no way that he will be in any difficult situation. Yet, he was asking of his well-being. And you rightly said it, that he's not just asking of his well-being, but it is also out of love.
Yes.
Now, my question is, how do we understand this and apply it in our devotional life to inquire about the well-being of our gurus? Sometimes some of us think that because the guru is not an ordinary person,
yes,
he does not require any material help or comfort or anything. How do we learn from this and apply it to?
Okay, so I'm just asking one question to you. How many of you are disciples of His Holiness Bhakti Tirtha Swami here? How many are there?
There are quite a number of us.
Yeah. So let us understand from that lively example. Yeah. You have seen that personality, great personality, His Holiness Bhakti Tirtha Swami, right? He was such a personality, such a fit personality, such a athletic body, steel body, dancing like unbelievable feats of dance. I have myself witnessed in Radha Gopinath temple, that drum and beating it by the striker. Amazing energy, divine energy, never fell ill in his whole lifetime, and suddenly developed a small black dot on his right foot. And then that became big, and that was diagnosed as beginning of melanoma. And then the melanoma is the worst cancer one can ever get in life. Fastest growing, fastest killing. So he just did not take it so lightly. We were telling him in Bhaktivedanta Hospital also that, take care of this. We can remove this here only. But they did not take care of that, and he just went on his service, and finally it spread so much that it had to amputate his half foot, right? And then it did not stop there. It just started spreading so much. He kept on preaching and preaching, and he just went on, the whole thing went on spreading. And he finally, I was the one with my friends preparing to receive him in Vrindavan. In the hospice that we created, we wanted, he was going to be the first celebrity of ISKCON to come to that hospice and leave his body there. But then we came to know he cannot come because he's too sick and too much, bombarded by the cancer, and he will stay in Philadelphia only. He will not move forward from that. That was the message I got from Radhanath Swami Maharaj. So at Philadelphia, the whole team reached, right? Our Ekavida Prabhu and his wife, what is her name?
Vrajalila.
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 Vrajalila Mataji, our very worshipful dear Mataji. So they were there, and they were team of devotees taking care, and His Holiness Radhanath Swami goes there for a visit, and then he comes to know that, oh, I need to stay here. So 7 weeks he stayed there. What happened there? The close disciples and servants of Maharaj were bewildered, and they were asking Radhanath Swami, what do we do? He is behaving like a child. He wants pizza, he wants a cake, he wants this, he wants that, and he's not supposed to have that because he's not well. We're supposed to give him a controlled diet. And whenever we go, he will say, give me this, give me that. How do we understand this? How do we serve in this situation? Do we fulfill his desire, or do we do what is good for him, what is medically good for him? Such a confusing duality in the situation. So His Holiness Radhanath Maharaj said, he is your guru. There is no doubt. He is a great personality. His order is your life and soul. He has guided you, he has uplifted you, is going to take you all back to Godhead. But before all that, being a guru, a great Vaishnava, uh, and what do you call, crowned king of the South African community. So one community was there, right? He was made into a queen. He was crowned as a king.
Yeah,
All those
in
things.
West Africa.
Yeah, okay. All that thing
Yes.
is at one side. But on the other side, he's a human being. He's a person who has a heart, who has desires, who is like he is a great personality, but is also a simple human being also. Don't forget to, or don't, what do you call, miss to see him as a human being first. So he is not out of control of his senses. He's just a human. That's all. Simple. Honor that and treat him at times when the spiritual instruction comes, you be as disciple. When a common thing comes, give me cake and pastry, treat him as a human being. Make him comfortable. Don't make him uncomfortable by, putting him always on the pedestal of a guru and then expect things from him as guru only all the time. Don't create a big network of expectations by putting him on the throne of a guru all the time and then make him embarrassed and make you embarrassed. Let it be natural from human to human first. And that made the things very easy and comfortable. When they understood that at times I have to be a diet provider and controller of his health in that service point, at times I have to be a human being to him, at times I have to be a disciple to him. That has to be very intelligent blend of these things. So at one point of view, if you see, Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj is under Daivim Prakriti Maksha Ashritaha. He is controlled by the divine energy of the Lord. Why you have to ask him, how are you? One who is always under the divine energy of the Lord, he has to be always good only. What is that? How are you, Maharaj, today? How is your pain today in the leg? This is pointless, stupid to ask a pure devotee. But at the human level, a pure devotee also is a human being. How can you forget that? He's a human being. So you have to ask him, how are you, Maharaj, today? What can I do for you today? What would you like to have today? Shall I bring you a cold drink or a hot drink? And you say, oh, you asked for a cold drink, which is more luxurious than a hot drink. I didn't expect him as a guru and a pure devotee to ask for a cold drink from me. Because we forget the human aspect. So these pure devotees like Vidura, they are on transcendental platform, but their feet are on earth. They are we say in English, they are grounded. They're always grounded on earth. Although their spirits are very high in the sky, their feet are grounded. They don't forget the local reality also. They don't forget the loving relationship they have. See, you are fine today. I can see you are, but still I ask you, Prabhu, how are you doing? Where are you now? How are you placed there? What is the weather there? I can see you, you're all right, smiling, but still I ask you. That is the expression of love. So we have to learn from these great souls. The greater they are, still how simpler and normal they are as human beings. So let us become first good human beings. Then we can, on the platform of being good human beings, we can become good devotees. On the platform of good devotees, we can become great devotees. But we cannot do all these things when we are normal, not normal human beings. When we are abnormal on a human platform, we cannot be great on devotee platform. Please understand this. This is all hoax. all bogus. If we are not having basic human attributes, basic human cultured behavior, don't have that, we cannot claim to be a great devotee of the Lord ever in the future. Even though you may have tomorrow 100,000 disciples surrendered to you, dedicated to you, still it may not make you a great devotee in the eyes of the Lord if you are not a good human being. And Prabhupada says, when you chant Hare Krishna and follow the four regulative principles and eat only prasadam, worship deities, you become a human being. You first become human being and then you start becoming a devotee after that. It brings you to human platform. And then you develop from human platform to becoming a devotee. So let us not forget. Now, what is the meaning of transcendental? If you have 27 floors building, suppose you have a building of 27 floors, right? What is the meaning of 27th floor if there is no ground floor? Is there any meaning of 27th floor if there is no ground floor? If there is no foundation? So each and every floor gets some meaning when you have a great foundation and great ground floor. Then 101st floor also becomes meaningful. So let us be grounded. Let us be grounded in human behavior, human etiquettes, love and affection on the human platform, love, concern, care on human platform. Then the devotional qualities will grow. That is the ground for that qualities to grow. So these personalities are great people. Uddhav wanted to go with Krishna. He said, Krishna, I just cannot stay without, imagine staying without you. Take me wherever, whichever loka you are taking, take me. So I said, no, you have a duty to perform. He said, yes, sir. Whatever you say, my lord. Immediately kept his desire, emotions back. Yes, sir. What is the duty? My wives will come here. You have to deliver them back to Godhead. So he left it by all the way. Krishna left, went ahead. Bye-bye. See you. Stayed back. Here they came and 30 days of Bhagavatam. Then they were delivered back to Godhead. And then Uddhava. Hari Bol. Hanumanji immediately wanted to go with Lord Ram back. Lord said, no, you have to stay back till my glories are being sung. You will be there glorifying me, distributing my glories. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Stayed back. Till today he is staying. Wherever Ram Katha is distributed, he is there, listening and distributing. So many examples are there. Stay back, staying back. Hare Krishna. So,
Hare Krishna.
thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for the answer to my question. I didn't expect much like this from my question, but it's more than I expected, and it's so blissful, and I believe every devotee has learned and will continue to learn.
Through the examples, live examples and lives of pure devotees like His Holiness Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj, we learn these wonderful things. So as soon as you asked that, immediately struck me about the experience of His Holiness Bhakti Tirtha Swami.
Prabhuji, I have a question, please.
Yes.
If you say he was behaving like a child, what do you mean? What do you mean by that statement?
There is something called as childlike and childish. Childish behavior is not much valued. Childlike behavior is important. That means our heart becomes innocent, not becomes foolish. So childish means foolish. Childlike means being innocent. And that's what all the rishis and munis and saintly people, they aspire and they are like a child. Very simple hearted, very straightforward, nothing inside, nothing out, no duplicity, very innocent behavior.
Even Krishna himself acted.
Well, I was very, very sorry and sad for hearing that, because he didn't explain that he was behaving like a childlike. So he was behaving like a child. That's what I heard.
Yeah. Childlike. Innocent. No duplicity.
No, that's what I'm saying. I didn't hear childlike. I
Oh.
heard behaving like a child. That's what I heard. I didn't hear childlike.
So I
And that's
explained
very that's very disturbing to hear that. How
about
he was behaving like a child. That's
No,
why I asked, what was he doing that resembled a child?
well,
Child
probably,
can do
no, no.
anything. So I didn't get
I
it that way.
I don't mean, I did not mean like that.
no.
It appeared to the close ones, dear ones, near ones, that it was quite like child. But then
Yeah.
it required a pure devotee for them to explain and understand what that behavior was like.
Mhm.
It needed explanation, it needed interpretation. It was bewildering for them. It was quite confusing for them. It was creating doubts in their mind. So it was clarified by His Holiness Radhanath Swami, and then everything became straight. Everything became as bright as sun. So it was not a criticism. It was a external misunderstood thing by the close ones, which they put forward to another pure devotee who explained nicely because he was of the same caliber. So he could
Yeah.
immediately read the in between and explain. So I never meant it was childish or child. I just explained to you now what exactly I meant.
Yeah. Well, thank you for the question, Govinda Prabhu, and His Grace Vishwarup Prabhu. Thank you for the explanation.
And I'm also sorry for even time being I made you feel bad.
Well, I think of course, he's driving and he heard what he heard, and I think he has every right to ask. And you explained beautifully because maybe somebody who did not ask might have also understood it the
Must have
way
felt
he
like that. Yeah,
understood it.
yeah. I think
But your explanation kind of explains it to each and everyone who might have the same understanding. But like you rightly said, Krishna, Lord Krishna, also almost all the time played like childlike, played like childlike. Even in the Christian Bible, also, Lord Jesus Christ taught that if one
You
does
see,
not become
Prabhu,
like this
I don't have
child,
a problem. I don't have a problem using the word childlike. It's an English word, and everybody who understands English understand what is childlike. I'm playing like a child. Can misbehave. So if you tell a grown man person that he's behaving like a child, it's an insult, and it's different from childlike. So that is my point.
now
so.
there is no need to excuse Vishnu Prabhu. I'm sorry to interrupt. Governor Prabhu, there is no need to pursue on this because
No,
he
no,
said,
I'm not pursuing it because you try to explain it further. He has already explained it as okay. So what is the point trying to explain it further? What is childlike and childish? He did not say childish, and I did not hear childlike. I hear him saying that he was behaving like a child, and that's why I question him.
all right, so do you understand the explanation he gave?
Yeah, it's okay. I got it.
Okay, all right, so that's all
Because
it matters.
Bhagavatam is also a conversation. One person is asking, one person is answering, and somebody is
Yes,
describing that conversation. So
yeah,
I am describing that conversation. It is not my statement. I am only saying what they said, what he answered. I am not
yeah,
expressing my emotions. I was just explaining what they were discussing.
yeah,
Like Srimad Bhagavatam. Somebody is discussing and somebody is explaining that discussion.
yeah.
And discussion is at one stage, what kind of words are there, then further explanation comes and a different stage is developed in that.
Well, Prabhuji, we can't thank you enough because, in fact, I didn't even know until today that you were personally and directly involved in my Gurudev's health care, and uh, it is very important hearing from somebody like your humble self, who is a devotee and also a medical doctor, taking care of devotees' physical needs and comfort, which we are learning so beautiful from Vidura. And so we can't thank you enough. I understand that Srila Prabhupada gave us certain layers of importance in our devotional life, and Srila Prabhupada put health as the number one need for devotees. So sometimes some of us, like you rightly said, we forget about the human aspect and do not want to take care of the human body. But we've learned so much from you today, and we're very much grateful for that.
He was with us for 42 days. You may not be knowing it. In 2004, His Holiness Bhaktitirtha Swami was with us for 42 days. And fortunately, I being the in charge of Department of Spiritual Care and the guest reception, I was directly in charge in taking care of him. And we had lot of wonderful interaction and discussions with him over the 42 days. His diet, his food, his treatment, his association, his guidance. We were blessed, and he was also very happy. And after the 42 days of Panchakarma and various treatments, he left for his preaching tour. Hare Krishna.
Well, Hare Krishna. Prabhuji, we know your time is kind of far spent there in India, but if any devotee has something to ask or share before Prabhuji leaves for the day, anyone with something to share or ask? Well, Prabhuji, when I saw that you were the one speaking today, I reminded myself to put on tilak.
I will tell you.
Because you always come with a very sharp tilak, and there is one other uncle near my place here in Gita Nagri. Anytime we have any online or in-person program like that with him, I also remember to put on tilak, because you would never see him without tilak. And it reminds me that at least I may not be a devotee, but let me appear as a devotee.
I will tell you, recently I read in Vedic scriptures that putting tilak on our body, one tilak, you get the benefit of building one Krishna temple.
Wow.
One time, one tilak on your body. So when you put 12 tilaks on your body every day, you are acquiring the pious benefits equaling 12 temples of Krishna in the world.
Wow.
And so many days, if you put 12 tilaks on the body, that much of pious credits are into your account.
Wow.
Even for that, one should put, if not for remembering Krishna or putting his lotus feet on the forehead.
Yeah. Wow.
All these things are said in scriptures just to inspire us to make our body into a temple of the Lord.
Yeah.
Today I was at home whole day because of my off day today, and I was not well also. But even if you are at home and we are not visiting somebody or going to office or visiting talking to people, we have to put tilak on the body to make that body as temple all the time, not when you are only meeting people or going to temple. The body is temple of the Lord 24/7 all throughout the life, not only when you go to office or when you meet devotees or when you have festival in the temple.
Yeah. All right.
That should be our...
Thank you so much. Madhavan Prabhu, please, you may unmute.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. All glory is all grace unto the first speech. And thank you very much for giving us this very wonderful lecture. It's nice having you around. Please. About the text, it was explained that Aniruddha is the creator of the mind. And later you now explain that the mind is being controlled by the moon or the moon god. So this aspect, ordinarily one would have thought the creator should be the controller of the mind. But you now explain that the moon god controls the mind. And so I just want a little bit of clarification on this point.
So, Sadhya Prabhu, can you tell me what exactly he spoke?
Well, yeah. His question is that we read from the purport that Aniruddha is the creator, is the master of the mind. And you also explained that Chandra, the moon god, is the controller of the moon, of the mind. So he's wondering, why would the creator of the mind not be the controller of the mind, but it is now being controlled by another individual, which is Chandra?
It is like the primary controller and secondary controller.
Okay.
Vishnu is the primary creator and Brahma is the secondary creator. That doesn't minimize the position of Vishnu. At the same time, it gives some service to Brahma. So primary creation Vishnu has done, and the secondary creation, Visarga, is done by Brahma. Similarly, the primary control is with Aniruddha, but he has given to somebody else also to lahaze or to carry forward the service. Like in our government also, we have a central government minister, we have a state government minister, then we have a district minister, then we have a municipality of the city that we are living. And the same kind of control is there. Electricity, and then city electricity. So it's on one line. Its line is not broken. The control of Aniruddha is not broken. It is coming through moon god. The control of Aniruddha is still intact, but executed through the line of moon god. That doesn't make the moon god bigger and Aniruddha smaller. Or moon god, the sole controller, and Aniruddha out. It doesn't happen like that. The control of moon god happens and is executed through the agency of moon god. And moon god very well knows that. He's not confused about it. He's not proud enough to give up the authority of Aniruddha and I am the boss now. Who is Aniruddha? He's not like that. He is fully aware, and the whole thing is in one line and fully well scripted by the Lord. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you very
Hare
much.
Krishna. So with that being said, Prabhuji, I don't know if you have some sort of concluding words to say, otherwise we'll bring this to a close for today.
So the concluding words are like this. Each and everything in spiritual life has two levels. One is the divine transcendental level, and one is the constitution at the heart. And one has to be very honest with the heart. And with the brain, we should do our duties. With the heart, we should love the Lord.
Jai. Thank you so much. With that being said, we're going to humbly request all the devotees to kindly unmute, and we all chant Hare Krishna Maha Mantra to express our dearmost appreciation and dearest appreciation to our revered speaker, His Grace Vishwarup Prabhu, for being with us, sharing his love and wisdom with us today. Like always, Jai. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama,
Hare Rama,
Rama Rama, Hare
Hare.
Pancha Kalpa Karunisa, Kripa Sivya Chitanam Davanaya, Krishna.
Jai. Thank you.
All glories to His Grace Vishwarup Prabhu Ki Jai.
Jai.
All glories to